Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. Today I want to talk to you about a thought that sounds like a joke at first, and then it starts clicking somewhere deep inside. What if the end of the world everyone expected in 2012 already happened? Not as a fireball that burned the planet to ash, but quietly, as a reset of the script. Remember what it was like back then. TV, newspapers, forums, everywhere people were talking about the Mayan calendar. December 21st, 2012. Predictions, prophecies, apocalypse. Some people were genuinely stocking up on canned food, some were laughing, some pretended they didn't care. But inside, there was still that slight tension. What if? And then the day arrived. You woke up, went outside, saw the same city, the same buildings, the same traffic jams. It was like the world said, "All right, everyone go home. The show is canceled." But a lot of people noticed something strange from that moment on, as if an invisible switch in reality had clicked. Time started moving in jolts. Events began compressing into a single year, like someone hit fast forward. The level of absurdity, crises, conflicts, news, rose to a ridiculous ceiling. And this feeling appeared. The world that existed before 2012 is gone. But we were quietly moved into the next season of the series. Without being told, it's already a different season. That same time is connected to another weird phenomenon, the Mandela Effect. When you suddenly realize you and thousands of other people remember the exact same thing, and in this new version of reality, it never happened. People swear a line in a movie was different. A logo on a brand was spelled another way. An event you clearly remember from childhood is missing from official history. You can check 100 times, online, in books, in films. Reality looks at you and says, "No, it was always like this." And inside you there's a quiet, stubborn knowing. You're lying. One version of this phenomenon is simple. We're not rewriting the past. We're just waking up inside a different version of the world, where the image is slightly shifted, where the character says a different line, where the letters in the logo sit differently, and even the fates of certain people end in a different way than you somehow remember. If reality is a hologram, a set of possible versions, then the Mandela Effect looks like a visual glitch, like a few pixels were pulled in from a different file. Now let's add a few more puzzle pieces. On one side, the ancient Maya, who for some reason stopped their calendar around 2012. Not the world explodes, but the measurement of time in their system ends there, as if they're saying, beyond this point is another cycle, another format of reality. On the other side, modern science. Around that same period, a massive machine underground is powered up at full force, a particle accelerator. Scientists speed microscopic particles close to the speed of light and smash them together, trying to peek into the first moments of the universe. And in 2012 they announce, "We found a state resembling the Higgs particle, the field associated with mass, with the structure of what exists." Officially, it's a major step forward for physics. But people who know how to connect metaphors ask a different question. What if, in that moment, we poked the fundamental code of the simulation we live in? An ancient civilization ends its calendar. A modern civilization, at the same time, begins working with energies that feel close to the universe's startup settings. And after that, millions of people across the planet start feeling like the world has shifted. Just slightly. Coincidence? Maybe. But the picture fits too beautifully. I'm closer to a subtle idea than a dramatic one. Not, everyone died and now we're walking around as ghosts, but something thinner, quieter. The old version of the world was simply closed, like a completed level. Imagine a game. You finished a chapter, gained experience, learned what you needed to learn, and then the creators release a major update, improved graphics, a new difficulty level, different storylines, more freedom of choice. The player isn't destroyed. The player is moved into a new version of the map. Everything seems the same. Cities, countries, familiar things. But the background vibration is different. Time is faster. The old rule of hold on to stability no longer works. People get shaken harder during transitions. They get pushed out of their old lives, and you begin noticing that everything you held onto out of fear collapses especially easily in this new version of the world. But honest desires, the ones that come from deep inside, suddenly receive strange synchronicities and hints. It's like the system is saying, the old world, where you could hide inside illusions, is closed. Now you either live honestly, or you get thrown out of the script. There's another interesting version too. In 2012, reality lines split on a massive scale, meaning the world isn't one single track. It's countless parallel variations. And back then, some people went into a line where everything is maximally stable. Fewer questions, more habit, more autopilot. And others landed in a branch where processes accelerated violently, where a mass awakening began, where bodies can't handle old loads anymore, where the soul simply refuses to keep living like everyone else. If you're watching videos like this, you're clearly in the second category. Because an ordinary person with no inner question isn't interested in this at all. They have enough content complaining about politics, exchange rates, and neighbors. But if you catch yourself thinking, it all feels too much like a dream. The coincidences in my life are too precise. I can feel there's another layer behind this reality. Then the settings on your branch of the world really are different. Ancient texts contain strange phrases. They speak of places where the throne of the destroyer stands, of points where an abyss opens, of gates through which something sealed can emerge. Traditionally, all of this is interpreted as metaphor: religion, morality, punishment, hell, heaven. But if you strip away the religious shell for a moment, a very different image appears. There are specific locations on the planet where powerful rituals were once performed, places where people consciously worked with another layer of reality. And then, thousands of years later, in those same locations, massive technological complexes are built underground, deep beneath the surface, filled with enormous energy, magnetic fields, and machines of immense power. The geographical and symbolic overlaps force a different question. Not whether hell or heaven operates there, but whether ancient people were describing in their own language a technology for accessing other dimensions. Today we attempt this through particle accelerators, quantum computing, neural networks, and experiments with space-time. In the past, it may have been done through temples, altars, sacrificial vessels, and star maps. The form is different. The essence is strikingly similar. Working with the code of reality. Let's take the boldest hypothesis. What if the world functions like a simulation, a massive game of consciousness? Then 2012 could be seen this way. The developers completed one major cycle and collected the data. How people handle fear, wars, addictions. And then they launched a new experiment. A new reality patch with updated settings. Accelerated time. Stronger feedback from thoughts and emotions. The possibility of mass awakening. The introduction of technologies that mirror consciousness. Social networks, AI algorithms. And the main question being tested right now. What happens if some of the players realize that reality is plastic and begin changing their storyline not through struggle but through awareness? The rest continue playing by the old rules. I am small, the world is big, others are to blame. But those who wake up gradually notice something else. By reacting differently, they begin landing in entirely different branches of events. Why does this theory resonate so deeply with people? Because it matches personal experience. Think about your own life. For some, after 2012, a chain of accidents, losses, or illnesses began. Events that eventually pushed them toward awareness. Others experienced a complete collapse. Family, business, identity. Everything that made up the old me. And only through that destruction did they start searching for depth. Some, on the contrary, woke up abruptly, left toxic environments, moved to another country, changed professions, turned toward inner work and spiritual practice. For many, there is a clear feeling, as if they were shifted onto a different line of fate, and there is no return to the old model. Usually, this is dismissed as coincidence or a midlife crisis. But when millions of people around the world are living through similar patterns, it's worth allowing at least one thought. Maybe this isn't just psychology. Maybe it's the tuning of the matrix itself. And now the most important point. This story is not meant to make you sit back and think, well, that's it. We died. We were tricked. The world is a simulation, so nothing matters. Quite the opposite. If reality truly resembles a hologram, if parallel branches exist, if space responds to state and choice, then it means one simple thing. You are not a victim of the 2012 script. You are the author of your level in the game. Yes, there are limitations. The body, circumstances, laws. But within those boundaries, you have far more freedom than you were ever taught to believe. You can change your inner dialogue. You can stop replaying the same old tragedy in your mind, the one that restarts the same branch of events every single day. You can stop clinging to people and roles whose expiration date has long passed, but which still hang around your neck out of habit. The post-2012 world has become harsher toward self-deception, but far more generous toward honesty. When you take a step that aligns with your soul, space almost always responds. Through meetings, opportunities, strange coincidences. Thank you for your attention and your awareness. You are already doing more than most people in this matrix. At the very least, you are asking questions and not afraid to look deeper. I wish you clarity, inner strength, and a branch of reality where you truly feel good. See you in the next video. Take care.